Your human design chart is not here to tell you who you are. It's here to help you notice where you stop being yourselves. Because most of us did, not because there is something wrong with us, but at some point, being fully ourselves stopped feeling safe, welcome, or possible. And that is why I don't use human design as a rule book. I use it as a map. Your chart can show you where you override your body, what conditions may support you, where you amplify pressure, what natural gifts you may have suppressed, and even how to build work around what comes naturally to you instead of what trains you. You cannot really use any of that if you have been taught to look at a chart and only ask, which human design type am I, right? Let me show you the 6 ways I believe a human design chart can actually be useful. No fluff, okay? Promise. So, the first one. The place I begin is not human design type. It is what I call the body compass, the 4 gates of your Incarnation Cross, your conscious and unconscious sun and earth. In human design, these placements are treated as a huge part of your life force and grounding axis. In my work, they become a practical way to ask, where did I learn to suppress a natural part of myself in order to belong, perform, survive, or make somebody else uncomfortable? Gabor Maté speaks about the tension between attachment and authenticity. The ways we can learn to give up parts of ourselves in order to stay connected, safe, accepted, or loved. And human design does not diagnose trauma. A gate does not cause an illness or explain your entire history, but it can give you an incredibly specific place to begin the asking, what quality in me was not safe to express, and what might returning to it look like now. I see it rather as a place where a natural expression has become distorted, suppressed, overused, or disconnected from the body. And this is exactly why I do not think it is enough to hand someone their strategy and authority and say, now go experiment. If you are disconnected from your body, you may not really know the difference between, I don't know, like intuition, fear, people pleasing, urgency, freeze, exhaustion, or an actual freaking yes. So, strategy and authority can be useful, but they become useful when they actually help you recognize your own bodily signals, not when they become another rule you are trying to follow correctly. So, another thing, we have variables. Do I have them here? I think I do. Yes. Yes, the variables here on the top. And I think this is one of the most underused parts of human design. Variables can point to the kinds of conditions your body may naturally prefer. And please note that I keep saying may, it's not should, the way, you take in food, information, space, environment, perspective. So not rules, not a new diet plan, not you are doing life incorrectly if you don't live in the right place, but really useful clues about the conditions in which your system may have more capacity to regulate, receive, think, create, and feel like itself. For example, for me, I have artificial shores and I have hot thirst as my digestion. Okay, digestion is hot thirst, and environment is artificial shores, which means that first of all, I should take in rather, warm food than cold. So if you give me a, diet full of raw foods, raw vegetables, a lot of cold stuff, so, smoothies and things, I might actually get pretty sick. And I have actually tested this, and it definitely, fits very well into the image. And artificial shores, are places. It's not only, literal shores. It's spaces, where, one thing changes into another, kind of like, even like balconies, patios, boats, yeah. Or, yeah, this the place where a mountain touches the valley, or like there are so many things, but that's not what I wanted to talk about. So I just wanted to give you an example. And we're not looking for correct or incorrect. We are looking for more natural and less forced. It's like, to me, like most people will tell you, you should not have your workspace by a window. For me, as a natural shores person, I should. And it actually does work very well for me. So, that's just one of the examples. Human design centers can absolutely be useful, but I'm less interested in telling you you have an open center so you absorb everybody else's energy. I'm more interested in asking, where do you feel pressure? Where do you overcompensate? Where do you become performative? Where do you make other people's expectations more important than your own signal? That is useful, not because it gives you another thing to fear, but because it helps you notice what is happening in real time. Then we, of course, have the gates. And they can show us, qualities that come very naturally to someone, way of seeing, speaking, leading, creating, connecting, disrupting, healing, organizing, sensing. But a natural gift can still become distorted when you had to build your life around survival instead of actual, authentic self-expression, when you had to, turn off a part of your personality to accommodate your environment. You may be incredibly perceptive, but learn to hide what you see, because honesty, was punished. You may have a natural gift for initiating, but learn that, being visible gets you criticized. You may be deeply sensitive, but learn that sensitivity makes you too much. I have a saying: if I'm too much, I'm finally low. The chart does not tell you what you are allowed to be. It helps you recognize what may already be true, but buried, under conditioning, under adaptation. And yes, this can go all the way into business. Not because your ideal client is hiding in a gate, because your chart can magically, pick your niche, but because your chart can help you distinguish between the work you became good at because you had to survive and you built the muscle for it, and the work that is actually natural, energizing, and deeply yours. Your core gifts can shape your message. Your natural way of seeing can shape what you are known for. Your capacity can shape your business model. Your sensitivity can shape the systems you need around your work. I mean, like, yeah, I do need those, okay? And that creates a business that is not just aligned in some vague spiritual way, it is built around who you actually are. And I have to say, it goes deeper than you are a projector. So, you work well one on one with people. That is inherently true. But in Human Design Lab, you will actually see that there's more nuance to that, okay? There's more nuance. So, no, Human Design is not a personality test. It can be a map of your conditioning, your body, your natural expression, the conditions that support you, the pressure you absorb, the gifts you may have had to suppress, and the life or business you're trying to build. But the chart is still not the authority. The chart is the map. Your body is the compass. And if you have been disconnected from that compass for a long time, that is not a personal failure. It is exactly the work we get to do. That's why I created Body Compass inside Human Design Redefined Lab on Skull. We do not start by telling you to become better at following your type, your strategy, your authority. We start with the 4 gates, of your body compass over here, okay? And use your chart to help you return to yourself, one real pattern, one real choice, one real signal at a time. Because essentially, nothing is black or white, nothing is really right or wrong. But I personally hate being put into tiny little boxes. I have never fit into any boxes, okay? So when I realized, human design doesn't have to be that way, it can actually be really useful. I said, yeah, let's freaking, let other people know that this exists. So that's why I opened up the Human Design Redefined Lab on Skull, because I wanted this, to reach more people. So if this resonated with you, make sure to check that out. Currently, there's 1 week free, so you can test it. No strings attached. And yeah, I'm gonna see you in my next video.